Hello and welcome to Success Behind Shadow. Oh my goodness, I am so excited to bring to you episode 3. Yes! Have you watched the episode 1? That was my story. In episode 2, we have Success Behind Teaming. If you haven't, you got to go back and check it out. I know your life is going to be blessed. Because the show is about blessing your life with people's story. So you can be inspired and you can be motivated when you see what people are going through and you realize that you're not alone. Today on set, I have the amazing queen with me, Aida Gueye. Aida Gueye is one of DMV most prominent. I can say yes, she is one of the most prominent fashion models that I have worked with. And trust me, I've known her for a few years now. And since the day I met her, her spirit and mine we just match, and we have been friends, not just a friends but a sister. Either don't only have an interest into fashion and modeling, but she has a master degree in human resource management. Yes, doesn't mean that because you're a model you don't go to school. Don't get it wrong, but Ida is here to tell us all about her story. I cannot wait to actually get to know her. Are you ready? Yes. Oh my goodness, Ida, it's an honor to have you here, and you
Thank
look
you
gorgeous.
so much. You look gorgeous as well.
This
It's
never
always great.
mistake.
Yes, I love it. It's always great to see you, Remy, and you know
Oh.
that. I'm very, very excited to be here today, and I look forward to sharing this story.
Oh my goodness, I am so excited. So, who is Ida?
Okay.
Please tell us who is Ida. Like, where Ida come from? Like, what? Who is Ida? Just.
So, Ida to many is, a fashion model to a lot of people on maybe like the social scenes. But I'd like to think that there's a lot more about myself.
I think so.
I am actually Senegalese. I am a native of Dakar, Senegal. I was actually born there. And then I came here when I was 12 years old.
Oh.
And that transition,
Yeah.
what that is when you
I
actually
feel-
move from the continent and then to a new culture and then you're trying to adapt and stuff like that. So definitely was a tough transition. And then later on, I kind of got into modeling and just kind of fell out of the sky. I didn't think that I was going to do it, but I did it anyways. And then I, was doing that and working as well. So I went to school, studied, went back and got my master's in HR management, which I'm always proud about because I'm like, I paid my way through school. So I'm excited about that. And I'm like huge on education and I'm a lifelong learner for sure. Like for me, the little things that I learn about excite me, like literally I can learn the most, like the smallest things during the day. And I'm just like, that's amazing. Like I feel fulfilled almost, right?
Right.
So right now I'm working by profession. I am a human capital management professional and I love it. I love my job. Unlike
I want to talk more about that, but first, many times I was talking to a friend, like when we try to talk about a story, most people just focus on what we have achieved right now, but they don't know the backstory.
Absolutely.
And that's what I want to know, that backstory. How old were you when you came to the United States?
So I was actually 12 when I came to the U.S. And like I said, it was definitely a super tough transition for me.
Oh my goodness.
Because I didn't speak English at all.
Negative.
That's all I knew how to say is negative, right? The Wolof and the French, because that's what we studied. In Senegal, we were actually colonized by the French. So we don't speak English there. Now we're starting to teach it in class, but it's not a regular thing, right?
Oh.
So I was in middle school. You can imagine a kid who came here, didn't know the culture, didn't understand much, trying to make friends. People don't like you. They bully you. You're scanned, and it was a lot.
I cannot imagine.
So, yeah.
You know what? That sounds like a very interesting topic we're gonna hit on.
Absolutely.
So tell me a little bit about Senegal. Like, I know. I don't know. A study shows that when a kid is around 4 years, they starts to take. I think from 2 years, they starts to take things in. So how is it like being born in Senegal and raised up there as a kid?
I mean, I love it. I'm always very, very, very thankful for that opportunity. because I think it allowed me to really understand who I am as an individual. And I think if it wasn't for me being born there and being integrated in the culture, I wouldn't be fluent in Wolof. I wouldn't know about the language, the culture, the food, and like just like the little things that really just make the culture like
which
spicy.
kids nowadays are deprived for.
Exactly. So when I came here, it was very, very important for me to like keep that or like preserve that in any kind of way that I could, and I try to do that as best as possible.
So how many siblings do you have?
I have a total of 7 siblings.
Oh, you sound like me.
Yes.
I can't count mine.
I actually have like a
I always tell people I can't count because I know my dad makes some additional, to the family that,
No, I have a pretty big family.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, don't we all? But how is going to school in Senegal?
The education system, I would say, is very different. And I was having a conversation with a group that I'm a part of, which are like young people who are overseas. How do we come together to actually help or give back home? And one of the things that came up was about the education system, because that's where it all starts, right? Understanding that I feel like it's outdated in a lot of different ways. Right, because they're still teaching things from like the 19 whatever. But times have changed. Internet is here, like technology, all these apps. So we need to prepare our generation for, what's coming in the future and the actual jobs that we need people to do right now.
Right.
So going to school for me, I cannot tell you, to be honest. I can't remember what I learned while, being out there. I just used to memorize a lot of lessons, and I know that I was always top 5 in my class because, I am a geek at heart. I like to learn. It's crazy. But that's just like a part of who I am, So, but that's what I'm saying. So instead of the curriculums being delivered as, hey, memorize this, how about maybe we try to help figure out how do different people learn, right? Like you might be a visual learner, I might be, a group learner, right? So how do we help incorporate that to make sure that everybody gets the best out of the learning? So the education, I would say, needs some improvement, but I think it takes, people like us, maybe who have gone overseas and like have been exposed to different things to go back and be able to make that impact.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
that's beautiful. Oh my goodness! You know what? Where I come from, Sierra Leone, it's pretty much that when kids, my son, I have an adopted son. I have adopted sons too, and it's like, Mom, I want to go to accounting. The one wants to go accounting, one wants to go art. I'm like, what is wrong with you people? It's like the only 2 stream in that country. So everybody wants to do accounting.
Yeah.
Or they want to. Can you imagine someone in my country study to be a librarian and we don't have a library?
A library is over there. Yes, absolutely.
How are you going to implement that? How are you going to get a job? So I feel you. I get you. Like we really need to make some impact.
And it's not just in Senegal. I think it's a lot of parts around the world, and specifically in Africa, And I think I'm going to be biased, we're the best continent. From food,
yes, girl.
To culture, to the resources, to the gold, to everything. So I think we just need to figure out how to cultivate that. But the education, I think, is really important to focus on.
Yeah, sweetie, I cannot even fight with you on that because my country is known for diamond. Where's the diamond?
Right there.
I'm telling you, I just feel like the people are the diamond. But anyway, with all the resources that we have, it's interesting. Yeah,
we have a lot of resources.
Okay, we're gonna talk about it. God help me.
Because I'm like, I can talk about all that. Because I love me, Africa.
Yes. But anyway, so how is it like growing up in a family that big? Like you were saying that your family is big. Because I know I'm facing a difficulty. There are times, like my mom used to have a bad habit. I've said that a couple times. Well, it's not a bad habit, but she just have this beautiful soul that wasn't working for me. That somebody passing by, as long as she's dishing out food, they're gonna have soap.
Exactly.
And that's gonna come out of my ration.
Exactly. I mean, well, and those are the things, right? We talk about culture and how much we love Africa, but there's some things that's just how it is. And that's the difference in culture there and here. But for me, I love growing up in a big family. Like I really, really did. And I think it's important too because you kind of get exposure to, different things that you can learn from maybe your aunts or your uncles, how to live with other people. It's a definite transition from coming to the U.S. where people are more um, uh, they encourage living by yourself more, right? More of that independence. We're back there. They encourage like family living.
Yeah, you
stuff
gotta
like
stay.
that. Yes, exactly.
Something until still in the house.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or even 40 until you get a husband.
Yeah. If you don't marry, then you still.
Yes,
Yeah.
and then you can move out, right? But I loved it. I really, really did. I would go back and do it all over again. I really would. And I was saying this, I was thinking about this last night. I was like, my parents were not Bill Gates, definitely. But I never remember missing anything as a young child. And I'm forever thankful for that because I've always felt like I had everything that I needed as a young girl, right? So me growing up, it was like, even motivation for me to be like, there's a lot that I want to say like I owe to my parents because, they did what they were supposed to do, yes, but at the same time, I mean, like, yeah. So, and I didn't grow up in a rich family at all. But, like, you've never come to the U.S. You can't really tell what's rich anyways. You're over there, It's just like, that you're not missing out clothes.
Right.
You have shoes. Yeah. You have the basic needs as a child when a lot of times in Africa, some of those kids don't have that. So I'm very thankful for that opportunity.
That's so beautiful and that's so touching.
Yeah.
God bless them. And, oh, my goodness, I love your parents. I'd love to meet them someday. But this is amazing though because like what you said, I know not most of us. I grew up with my parents as well, with my stepdad and stuff like that. But I know there are things that I'm missing because the love feels like the love was rationed, amongst our siblings and stuff like that, and there's so many difficulties I faced as a child and. Today, I used to have my older ones because I'm the last one from my mom. They would literally call me and tell me that, that's not your mom. They adopted you. And I believe.
Yeah.
Right. And I would cry my life out. Like,
and sometimes we think that those little things don't matter, right? But they stay with us even as we become adults. And then sometimes we maybe react to things a certain way.
Yeah, right.
And then we have to think like, why am I like this? Or why do I do this? But that's because really, as we're growing up,
because they're sowing seed in us. You know what I mean? They're sowing seed, and that seed is being sown in our subconscious.
Yeah.
Because unknowing to us, it's gonna surface.
Yeah.
And you don't even know when you're like,
exactly. It's gonna look completely different, and that's why the self work is important, right? As adults,
tell me about
self work is really important because we got to address those little things that
we
know we need to improve on. So
yeah, I find out that my family, when they talk, like, and when I look around, like my family, I really don't look not like physically look, but you can say, oh, she copied this from this person.
Because you would grow up into your own personality.
Exactly. Yeah. And sometimes I thought it makes me feel like I'm an outcast or something like that because I'm growing up with this different mentality, this different acceptance of life and the things that I want to do. I start working the moment I enter into GSS1. I got a job. The moment I took my MPSC, I'm going to JSS1, I start working. And even when I was in high school in my country, in Africa, and people get it twisted. I was in school and I'm in afternoon shift and I go to work in the morning and I dress in school to go to school. Like go to work in the morning and then I have to go to school. So I find myself so different for a very long time. It was a little bit, it was affecting me because now I'm acting different.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like you said, these are the things that has been deposited. It can affect us positively or it can affect us negatively.
Yeah, right.
And do you have anything like coming back? I know you were young when you left Senegal and stuff like that. Is there anything that you take from there that you when you look back now, you think that thing has affect you negatively and or positively?
Yeah, well, I would say the whole skin bleaching thing, right? Because I grew up, nobody in my family does this. Luckily, right? Because you grew up in a
Some
family
of
where
them
you
are
see
Hindu.
your mom or your cousin or
Right.
whatever doing it as a young child, you're more so
And this
prone
bleaching
to.
thing literally was in Africa, like it's part of the
Yes,
culture.
yes. I mean, we're second. Senegal is second. I mean, I don't want to throw that out there, but they're second for like second bleaching in the continent. So the transition for me was that, imagine going from a place like a loving family and, like I'm just like, I'm not missing anything. I'm going to the US and life's going to be easy, and then you transition here and everybody's school's like, you're different. Oh, your skin, you're too dark. Oh, you're. So I'm just like, wait, what's wrong with me? And then I used to think maybe I should have bleached or done the things that people were doing there in Africa, because if my country's showing me that a certain skin tone is better, and I go to
Right.
another country and they're saying me the same thing, then why not do it? So that's one thing that I would say kind of like negatively kind of impacted my transition from there to here, because it all goes back to acceptance at the end of the day.
Oh my goodness.
But thank God, thank you Lord, that I never ever went that route, and I'm so happy that I did not. And I think that's why it's important that we like image positivity and encouraging our young girls that they don't need to be like any different to just like live out their purpose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They really do not. So yeah, I make sure that I instill that in
Oh my goodness, that at least that's beautiful, and you stick to that, because not everybody they'll be strong enough when they have that hit them like, oh, I should have done that, and now
it's a pressure
because people come here, they're doing it here.
Yeah.
They didn't do it back home, but now they come here and they got those pressure. Like, I think it's time for me to transition.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that got some impact it creates on your skin, your
Absolutely.
health in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely.
Listen,
it does.
I'll let you in into a secret. My mother tried.
Girl, you just put out all the tea.
I'm telling you. My mother tried. She used to do business back and forth from Guinea, my country. And, Guinea, first of all, they have all the bleach stuff and stuff like that.
Yes, they do.
She brought it, and people were buying it. And like, you know what? Because my feet, it was so black. Like, people normally call, like, I was black, like black monkey. Stuff. Like, I was really, really.
That's crazy.
Trust me. She tried it. And for the first time I tried to use a bleaching cream, I get darker.
Wow. Wow. So that's God telling you, come on now, don't do it.
So most people are like, I'm glad you didn't try. I'm like, sweetie, my mother tried. It just didn't work out.
Yeah.
But you know what worked? You know the shea butter?
Yes, I have some. I actually ordered a big jar. It came yesterday, and I couldn't be so happy.
Oh my goodness, because like back when we were black, it's like a dark and it's dull.
Yes.
But my mom, like even the palm oil, the burned one, my mom would do the burned palm oil, and that's what she was using on me. And then you see that black skin, it's
just
it's just like glowing.
Because I mean, skincare is becoming a bigger thing in the continent now. I mean, because of technology, social media, everybody's seeing how people are living, but So the dullness in the skin, I think, comes from, Africa's really busy, the markets and the sun so skincare is definitely very important. But nevertheless, like there's so much just beauty in the authentic richness, and like I'm telling you, I've been there, and I would just like stare at people and they think I'm crazy. Because I'm like, yo, these people are so beautiful. I'm like, oh my gosh. And they like, here I am, exfoliating and using lemon and using all these things. And they're just walking around flawless. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
And all those vitamins.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. We can talk about this all day long.
All day.
Oh my goodness. If you're just joining us, I am on set. Like I said, the incredible Aida Gueye, one of DMV most prominent model. Yes, I said most prominent model, but she is way more than that. I assure you, she is way more than that. But don't go anywhere, because in part 2, Aida gonna tell us her transition in the United States, and we're gonna go a little bit deep into her career. You don't want to miss that. Stay with us, okay? This is Success Beyond Shadow. Come and let your story inspire others.